Alright, thanks for clicking on the video. This is Gulpane. I just back with another video response because I do love video responding. And this one is going to be a video response to someone I've been subscribed to for many years, Metropolis. And Metropolis has another channel called Roaming the Ruins, which I really like. He goes around like different sort of like monasteries or abbeys and stuff, or castles, like small castles, and sort of like, you know, has a look at them and records the footage of them. It's absolutely top class. But this is a response to regular Metropolis channel. So let's have a look. Okay, so the topic of Metropolis's video was 5 games that got you into gaming. So I had a little think about it, and I'm just trying to think about like what games sort of like was when I was very young got me into gaming, and then when I kind of like lost track of gaming a bit, you know, when life took over, or particularly when I started university first and I was going out all the time. So like what games brought me back into gaming, and then sort of like, you know, kind of what games brought me into 2-player gaming and stuff. Just kind of, I just prefaced it with a bit of difference. So anyway, the number one then, the first one is the first game that I can remember playing. Well, it's probably like Mario or something, like, you know, but everyone, you know, does that. But one of the first games that got me into gaming, particularly like into like kind of more horror kind of games, was Simon's Quest. So I remember playing Simon's Quest in like my friend's house years ago. Because he had it, I never had it, and we played it, and like, I don't know, I was very, very young, like the PlayStation was out at this stage, like, but we were small, so, you know, when you're very small in Ireland, you have like the old stuff, you have like old clothes, you have like old video games, you know, you have like stuff from like 10 years ago, or 10 years before whatever age you were, I don't know. Obviously not today in Ireland. I'm sure today everyone has like a PS5, like all the 5-year-olds and 6-year-olds have like PS5 and Switches, but back in the olden days, that was the case. So we were playing like Simon's Quest and we were loving it, and I just remember, like, you know, kind of being like, I don't know, like enthralled with like the horror aspects of it, like the skeletons and the, I don't know, so like that kind of fueled my love for Castlevania. And then like I love Castlevania now, and like Symphony of Night is like my, you know, my joint top favorite game with Suikoden, and yeah, the other, like I have a Castlevania collection. Like I try and buy all the games. I'm only missing like the really expensive ones, you know, like Castlevania 3 or Castlevania Legends. I have a lot of the other ones. But yeah, so obviously I'm not going to spend hundreds of pounds because I can't afford that. I'm a teacher, for God's sake. So yeah, Simon's Quest, like one of the games that got me into gaming, or got me into like my love for that kind of, I don't know, horror themed game, is Castlevania or Simon's Quest. And then one game that got me into RPGs then would be Phantasy Star 4. So again, I played Phantasy Star 4 when I was very young. Like, I don't even know how I understood. I must have been a very advanced child, because the RPGs, I just acclimated to them straight away, like way more than like the sports games or, I don't know, like other games. But like the RPG, something about the numbers and the leveling up and the fact that you'd have to go save and go back to the game appealed to me way more than like the sort of the one and done pick up and play style games. I don't know why, but yeah, Phantasy Star 4, I loved the story. I loved like just the RPG element of it, the kind of the fusion of like science and, you know, like swords or whatever, swords and shields with sciencey stuff. Phantasy Star 4 was awesome on the old Mega Drive Genesis. So that's one that I remember that getting me into RPGs. And I played Shining Force 2, and then like any RPG, I was into any RPG I could get. So like Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 8, Final Fantasy 9. I played them one after another. Because I remember the Final Fantasy 7 like commercial being on TV, but I wasn't really into RPGs, so I didn't understand what all the hype was about. But then I did understand later. And then, so Phantasy Star 4 got me into RPGs, and then I really loved them. But then one game that got me into like you know, I was just completely hooked was like Suikoden or Suikoden. I pronounced it different when I was younger as well, but I just love the first Suikoden. It's such a good game. I could play it right now. I've replayed it like maybe 3 or 4 times since I was younger. Because when I was younger, I replayed it like 10 times. Like I remember playing Suikoden when I was like a teenager, and I was like naming the castle, like, you know, whatever girlfriend I had at the time, like, but yeah, I was like, I don't know how old I was, like 14 or something, 15, but and then the second one then was out, I don't know when Suikoden 1 came out or Suikoden 2, but I had the two of them together and I played them one after another, and oh, I loved them, like they're so good. But that definitely the first game, it got me into like that style of RPG, the kind of, I don't want to say the old, because like Final Fantasy X was out, I think Final Fantasy 12 might have been out as well, and those were like really new RPGs, but Suikoden was a really old style RPG, so I preferred more the old style RPGs. So then that's kind of what got me into kind of, when later on then, when I wasn't like keeping up with, I was obviously playing new games. What am I trying to say here? It made me want to go back and play the old style RPGs, like the Super Nintendo ones. Like I would prefer to play a Super Nintendo style RPG than like Final Fantasy 15, to be perfectly honest. So I think Suikoden is what kind of got me into that, if that makes sense. And then another game that got me into gaming as well, I remember sort of like not playing games for a few years. It's when I went to university. And then I kind of like, I was going out and stuff, and I don't know, it was like 2006 or whatever it was. I was going out all the time, and I had a PlayStation 2, but I wasn't really playing it that much. And then I remember going to this place in Ireland called Golden Discs. It was like it sold like music and stuff, like CDs. I went in there one day, hummed a song that I didn't know the name of it because it was on the radio, and then the guy knew the song and I bought the CD. I went into Golden Discs. I saw this game, Shadow Hearts, for the PlayStation 2, and I picked it up and bought it, and I was hooked back into RPGs again. So whatever kind of I don't know, off period I had in gaming, when I stopped kind of playing games and I started like going out all the time, or, you know, being hungover, or then going into, like, I had a job and I was at university, so I didn't really have a lot of time. I didn't experience this a lot because I was, you know, it was like, I was a teenager before that, and I was a kid before that, so I had loads of time. So then, yeah, Shadow Hearts really got me into, got me back into gaming again. Then I had another off period, and then I remember playing, I went to a different university, and then I was playing, my housemate was mad into the Xbox 360, and then he had Gears of War, and we just like completely got back into gaming again. So like particularly 2-player gaming, because I was still playing 1-player games myself. I never got into online games like Overwatch or anything like that. The only one I kind of played was StarCraft a little bit, but 2-player like couch co-op games, I was completely like a solitary gamer. So I was just playing like RPGs on my own. But then when we started playing Gears of War, we loved it, and we could, like me and my friend Justin, we could not get enough of Gears of War. So we played that till the bitter end. Then we played Gears of War 2, and then I don't think Gears of War 3 was actually out at that stage. But then we played like Resident Evil 5, you know, Resident Evil 6, Kane and Lynch Dead Men, Hunted the Demon's Forge, all of these like couch co-op 2-player games where you could both look at the television and kind of like, you know, help each other out, or you know, it was like a real co-op game. Army of Two. Me and Justin, we loved Army of Two so much. We dressed up as Army of Two for Halloween. So we got like the Shima scarves, the face, you know, the face plates, and the fake guns. I don't even know how to this day I was sent this gun. I bought it on Amazon, and it looks so real. It looks like a real, like, whatever kind of gun it was, it looked like a real gun. So, and then I went out that night with the gun. You know, I don't know, like if I did that now, I'm assuming I'd be arrested, or I'd be told by the police, you know, you need to put that gun away. But yeah, this was only like in 2012, I think, or 2011. So yeah, but anyway, top drawer. So that was anyway, thanks Matt, that was a great topic. It got me reminiscing about my youth and sort of like teenage years and also university years as well. So, you know, it's good to think about the good old days every now and again. So yeah, so I'll leave a link to Metropolis's channel in the description of this video. So if you want to do a video response to this, I'd love to hear it. So thanks very much for watching, thanks for listening, I'll see you next video, adios.